I take pleasure in judging entitlement in other people. There's a seemingly unending stream of videos online right now where we can watch privileged and entitled people sticking their noses in where they don't belong, complaining about this and that, and usually getting their comeuppance to various degrees of viewer satisfaction. In a weak moment just after Thanksgiving, however, I spent some time pondering my own sense of entitlement, and that was not nearly as much fun to watch, though I suspect it was more profitable. In my heart of hearts, a part of me wants to pretend that this COVID 19, this lockdown, this era in which we live, shouldn't have happened. That I've been personally imposed upon and greatly inconvenienced. I understand, of course, that all of our routines have been affected by this, but my ego is sizable enough that I can take a global pandemic personally. Like there was some version of normal, a baseline expectation of a way of life I deserved, and it's been taken from me. I don't ask for much, really, just for life to move along exactly as I would like it to be. One of my favorite gospel readings is from St. Luke, chapter 17, where Jesus encounters 10 lepers on the road and they ask for a healing. He says the word and they're automatically healed. He tells them to go to the priest and present themselves and tell of what God has done for them. Now, picture what being a leper actually meant at that time. Not only was it a vile illness to have, its physical manifestations were really grotesque. But people at the time thought of it as an outward manifestation of an inner spiritual condition. And not only was it ugly and disgusting, but the bearers of the illness were themselves a contagion. You could catch it from them. It was thought of as an external accusation of a bad character. That's why leprosy is such a big deal, metaphorically, in the Bible. I think about what it would feel like to be spontaneously healed and freed from that curse. What it would mean to go present myself to the priests. Imagine having the one deepest, darkest, innermost sin or malady at the core of your soul removed in an instant, and then joining the fold again, whole, healed, clean, forgiven, as if it never happened. Indeed, as if it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I am healed. Great. Can we move on now? I fear that though nominally grateful for the healing, I would be resentful at its necessity in the first place, and perhaps a little embarrassed by it. But why is it that only one of the 10 lepers came back to thank our Lord for healing them? My first thought was that the other 9 were actually doing what the Lord told them to do, simply following orders. Go present yourselves to the priest and show them what God has done. But then I remember the detail that the one who returned was a Samaritan, a despised outsider, a step even lower than being a leper itself. Maybe the other lepers only let the Samaritan leper into their midst because they were so low they kept him around to say to themselves, well, I might have leprosy, but at least I'm not a damn Samaritan. Well, I'm under quarantine too, but at least I'm holding up better than that person. I didn't loot a store. I didn't vote for that person. Why did the Samaritan ex-leper, among all the others, return to thank our Lord? I think it's because he was an outsider. He didn't feel entitled. The other 9 were Hebrews. They had received God's promise. And with leprosy, their lives had descended into a spiritual agony, all the more keen with the knowledge that even with that promise, they had sunk to such a lowly state. When they were restored to health, their first thought wasn't thank you, but probably something more like finally. I'm going to Disneyland. Or perhaps some first century version of the Ark Encounter. The Samaritan had no such expectation of birthright. He had no expectation of forgiveness or healing. I can't have gratitude and entitlement at the same time. They occupy the same ground and can't coexist there. When I'm feeling entitled, I can't feel gratitude. I simply can't. They're diametrically opposed. And when I'm feeling gratitude, genuine, deep gratitude, it must by definition come from a place of utter acknowledgement that this is a gift. I did nothing to merit it. And that I even perhaps owe some debt of gratitude to the giver of that gift. But the obligation has to be voluntary. I need to think of a better word than obligation. Obedience, maybe. Desire, perhaps. The gospel doesn't say, but I do get the sense that the Samaritan lived a brighter and freer life through that act of gratitude, of thanksgiving to the giver. And I hope that the Samaritan went out and behaved towards others as one healed by utter grace, with the joy, enlivened vitality, and generosity that gratitude can create. Gratitude versus entitlement. I'll close here with a stanza from the poem One Heart by the late, great Franz Wright. The astonishing, windy, and altering light and clouds and water were, at certain moments, you. There is only one heart in my body. Have mercy on me. The brown leaves buried all winter, creatureless feet running over dead grass. The first star noticed all at once as one stands staring into the black water. Thank you for letting me live for a little as one of the sane. Thank you for letting me know what this is like. Thank you for letting me look at your frightening blue sky without fear, and your terrible world without terror, and your loveless, psychotic, and hopelessly lost with this love. Stay safe. Stay close. Peace of the Lord be with you.